There was extensive agreement within our survey regarding increased private sector involvement within the provision of healthcare services. Now, this may come as a surprise to some, but it is important to remember that we didn't actually survey senior healthcare management on whether that was a good idea or a bad idea, simply on whether or not it was actually going to happen. And that is a very important distinction. The man-on-the-street debate about the relative merits of this development are going to continue unchecked for some time to come. But all parties should be well advised to take note of the views of our survey respondents, who are people very well placed to predict how the future of healthcare is actually going to develop. Now, only 8% of our survey respondents do not foresee a move away from universal tax-funded healthcare provision. That's because there's a major and unavoidable demographic issue at play here. Typical dependency rates of 4 to 1, so 4 citizens of working age for every child and senior citizen, will continue to shrink in the immediate future. And if, for example, that ratio moved closer to 2 to 1, then the ability to fund comprehensive healthcare provision solely from tax revenues is going to be hugely compromised. Now, most Western countries with healthcare models predicated on post-war thinking recognise the need for change so that healthcare is funded in future by a mix of taxation, insurance and personal provision. Now, when we suggested that in the future there would be an upswing in M&A activity across the sector in response to growing economic pressures, the surprise here was that more people didn't strongly agree. Many healthcare organisations across the region are simply too small to be economically viable. This can leave them unable to support expensive fixed costs such as intensive care or operating theatres. In turn, this makes consolidation to achieve greater economies of scale a near certainty. Time will tell whether that consolidation will happen slowly, as our survey respondents suggest, or more quickly as we expect it to happen. But the sector simply cannot continue as it is currently configured.